We are live. What's up, everybody? It is Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 204. I think this is going to be a quick one, man. Gonna continue doing some character concepts, and this is going to be a short, sweet video. I'll explain why in a minute. But other than that, man, today's date is, I believe it's Monday, July 19th. So yeah, if you're catching this on YouTube, you're catching an old episode, and if you care to catch these things live, I'm on Twitch. And if you don't want a Twitch account or anything like that, you could also watch these on Patreon. Most of my videos, you will have to be a patron in order to watch them there. But fortunately, those just start at $1 a month if care to support me like that. And starting at $3 a month, you can get commissions, character portraits, things like that from me. All the deals and everything like that are on my Patreon page. Patreon? Whatever. They're on the page. And yeah, other than that, man, I'm just going to continue working on these things. I normally would have been busting out a whole ton of videos in the last couple of days. And actually, let me adjust the camera. Bring it down a bit. There we go. Are we focused? Yeah. And I gotta move my microphone. I rotated it when I did the digital piece on the last video. I always have to rotate my equipment around. And I haven't rotated my microphone back, so hopefully that's good and out of the way. Sorry for the camera shake. There we go. And yeah, man, let's get started. So, yeah, normally I would have been doing a ton of videos in the last couple of days. I would have tried to have gotten like maybe 6 videos out, but I've two things that have held me back from doing that. And oh, you know what? Maybe I should pull that up as well. Oh yeah, I still got that, huh? So yeah, man, the reason why I haven't trying to imagine what kind of pose I want to do. I really didn't have any thoughts. I kind of didn't want to do a stream, but I also, because I'm trying to be something of an independent artist, and part of that independence also is being, funny enough, dependent upon people and things like that. That's why I'm always like kind of promoting myself and promoting what I do and things like that, just to build awareness and advertise myself a bit, you know, as contrary to most artistic efforts as that may seem. Uh, yeah, see, I'm missing something here. Okay, so that's what it is. Alright. So yeah, man. I kind of want to do a video just to talk about something real quick. Oh yeah, and also I had an idea yesterday, and I was like, ooh, I should definitely talk about that before I forget about it. And I actually already forgot about it, and I just reminded myself a few minutes ago, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk about this before, and get it out there. So that way I actually have something to talk about. You can definitely hear the Final Fantasy VII in the background while I'm working. Um, and that's part of the reason why I didn't want to stream is because I'm kind of watching a playthrough of the old classic Final Fantasy VII, and I've been rewatching, or not rewatching, but watching Maximilian Dude's replay of remake, and it's just been on my mind, so I wanted to kind of talk about it, but make it relevant to something that hasn't already been said. And I gotta say, man, the fact that the game's been out for a year, maybe even over a year now, and we just had Integrate recently. I'm surprised I'm not seeing a lot more content out there. Maybe I'm just following the wrong channels and not being told, or not being shown within my own algorithm of videos. Hey, what's up, Nardachi? Yeah, lurk away. Yeah, for sure. For sure, check in later. I just looked up and saw you there. Yeah, this isn't gonna be one of those super streams that I'm doing. This is actually just me kind of checking in with y'all and talking about just a few things that, and also why I'm not like busting out a ton of videos the last couple of days like I normally would have. But either way, yeah, so like that. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII's been like a lot on my mind lately, and part of it is how I've never beaten the game. Back when I used to play video games, I had a PlayStation 3, and before my PlayStation 3 kind of crapped out on me, I had gotten Final Fantasy VII original on on the like digital store or whatever it was, like, so that way I could finally play the game. I was intending on playing and beating 7, playing and beating 8. Since I was in college, a friend of mine was telling me about 9, so I definitely wanted to play 9. I kind of wanted to do all that stuff. And I got like what they used to call on the Xbox was the Red Ring of Death. Well, I knew about that with Xboxes, but I never owned one, so it was like I didn't really care about those. But I didn't know that PlayStations also got the same thing, and that's what happened to me. I got the this red light on my PlayStation 3, and yeah, it kind of put the kibosh on my gaming. I had put all my money into getting that system. You got to remember I never had much money, and this is before my computer crashed in 2013. You know what I mean? So there's this whole history of like electronics and hardware that just like crash on me. It's don't know why that is. It's actually more annoying the more I think about it, so I'll try not to think about it too much. But yeah, so I got the Red Ring of Death on my PlayStation 3 before I got to beat Final Fantasy VII. And I had gotten to this point, and I've probably talked about this before, but I don't really remember like where I was. Like I couldn't tell you what land I was in or how far. I just know that I got to disc 2. So I was well like within the game, like in the middle or towards the end. I can't remember if it was a 2-disc or a 3-disc for the digital download back then. But I got to disc 2, and I've been watching this long play. What is this channel? Let me give them a shout out that I'm watching. Started watching them yesterday. World of Long Plays on YouTube. Yeah, I guess this guy like just does like long plays and just throws them up. And I've been avoiding this because I don't want to. I always wanted to watch one with commentary. That way I would know when to look up and when not to look up. You know what I mean? So that way I can kind of work while I let it play in the background, and then I'll know to look up during important parts because the commentary would like kind of alert me as to what's happening while I'm not paying attention to it, while I'm, looking at my sketchbook drawing. Unfortunately, I can't find any good commentary Final Fantasy VII playthroughs. Most of the channels I follow, they're all no commentary. I found one with commentary. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I tried watching it, and I was like, I don't, like, if you're gonna commentate, you gotta be something entertaining or informative, or, there's an art to it, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm really bad at it. So it's like I just never found it, so I never did it. But I always intended to, and it was just a matter of finding the right channel. Man, I really don't like this. I really don't like this. This is a really crappy drawing. This is what happens when I try to rush shit. There. Let's redo this. So, how do I want to do this? Here, let's do this. So we got that. Yeah, we got here and here. And he's going up like that. So that means he's big time. But see, you can't have that like that because that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Yeah, so it's even wider than I thought. Okay. That's what's happening. So that and that. There we go. Trying to make a less. Goddamn, maybe I should pull this over. My camera. It's adjusted wrong because I had to rotate it back to get it from my computer to my sketchbook again. Let me adjust this. This is a curse stream. They happen from time to time. Okay. Are we focused? Yeah. So yeah, I know I'm all over the place with what I'm talking about, but I'll get around to it. I'll get around to everything that I wanted to say within this stream. And hopefully, like, at least bust out some, like, decent drawings while I'm at it. Holy shit. And, so yeah, so I finally said, fuck it. I had that moment, and it usually takes some years, like at least 2 years, for me to, like, have something sitting around in my head. Sometimes they'll sit around for a decade. Sometimes things will just sit around in my head forever, and I'm like, okay, if I can't, like, if my brain isn't letting me forget about this, then, like, clearly it's important to me. You know what I mean? And I gotta exercise those thoughts. I gotta exercise those demons. You know what I'm saying? So I said, fuck it. I'm never gonna find the perfect Final Fantasy VII OG playthrough with good commentary. So I might as well just hunker down and fucking watch the shit. So I found this channel, World of Long Plays. They have 4 basically 7-hour long videos. Alright, this isn't right either. What's happening? I'm shitting all over the place here. Hold on. And I hunkered down and started watching it. The problem is that I have to pay attention. This is why I don't watch, like, you know, things that require subtitles, like old video games that don't have voice acting, like, while I stream. That's why I always I can't throw on music because of the DMCA's and the copyrights and all that stuff. And then I can't throw on subtitle stuff. Oh my god, this is terrible. I cannot get this pose. I got it down right. Alright, let me show y'all what I'm trying to do, so I can show you how stupid I am and how much I suck. So, a while back, not that long ago, on the 11th, so, you know, a little over a week ago, I drew this pose. And I like it, but I don't like it. It's so stiff. It's not loose at all. It doesn't even seem like looks like he's like in mid-stretch, like he's yawning or something. It's not what I was intending to do. Hated that. So I want to redraw this, but not from this angle because I've already drawn it from this angle. So maybe I should just redraw this one, but looser and more proper. And, but I'm trying to draw it from the front angle, so kind of like from here. But the reason why it's so stiff is because it's a tall, you know, his arms aren't down. So with his arms out and his legs fully extended, you know, he's very vertical. It's very vertical. So trying to fit that very vertical thing within even this vertical rectangle, like, you need more space to really do it. So it was like, okay, let me draw it from a different perspective. Not just the front, but looking down at it, maybe. So that way I can kind of fill in this rectangle a little bit better. That's what I've been trying to do. So I'm like trying to go through a million hurdles really fast because I want to get to what I've been trying to explain to you guys with what I've been doing behind the scenes that I don't want to like stream or expose, but also don't want to leave anybody hanging. You know, I feel a little bit responsible to do these things. And it's not even cumbersome. I want to do all this. So that's what's happening. So maybe I just need to redraw this one and then redraw it from the other angle, you know, because, you know, like an angle similar to like this one, kind of, you know, 3/4 looking down sort of thing. It's just a stupid pose to try to fit within that box. If I wasn't trying to fit it within a box, maybe it'd be a little bit easier. But what I'm trying to do is fit it within this rectangle here. So, so stupid. Okay. So I hunkered down and I'm trying to watch, and I'm watching this playthrough, but I can't look away from the screen for a second because there's never any sort of audio announcement to let you know that there's something happening. Like they just have the background music, they have the fight music, and then they sometimes have cinematic music, but the music won't change within the game cinematic, you know, or just like the game dialogue scenes, you know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, I really have to sit there and make sure I'm paying attention or I'm gonna miss. Or I'm really gonna miss like story of the game and things like that. And the reason why I want to pay attention to the story, even though I've already played the game, at least up until like in the beginning points, is just so I can kind of remind myself what the game's all about. Because I'm watching the remake, and I kind of want to have my own thoughts comparing the remake to what I know from the original. So that's a little bit more like it, but it still looks kind of dumb. So I can't even really imagine the anatomy from this angle. Yeah, see? I'm gonna get this fucking leg right if it's the last thing I do. God damn it. I don't care if it gives me a heart attack. Alright. So yeah, that's what I spent my day doing yesterday, but I also didn't want to be unproductive and just sit there and watch a video game. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I don't allow myself that much, leeway, you know what I mean? Like, I always got to be working on something because I have a lot that I want to accomplish and a lot that I want to do. So taking time away to just watch, like I said, 4 7-hour long videos, I don't have 30 hours to kill like that. Not at the moment. So it's gonna have to do. So I've been watching that, but in order to keep myself busy, a little bit ago, I was talking about how I needed to do a little bit of reworking, not reworking, but outlining a little bit of my characters. Still kind of organizing my characters in a way still. Like, even though I've gotten all the writings and I know where everybody's going, where they're going to be at what times. What I mean by that is, like, this character here. Like I said, he plays like a crazy role with all the story. Like, he's the first like real big important character that I'm working on, and I'm gonna be doing some more studies and things like that soon. I've decided on doing that. But before I do that, I kind of want to know about I kind of want to make sure I'm 100% clear on his role, as well as like other characters around him and their roles within the entire story. So that way I'm not making any sort of crazy mistakes or anything like that, but it's also so that way when I do these studies and sketches and things like that, that it's all, you know, that it's all correct. You know, I'd hate to do a study and then realize like, oh, you shouldn't have, I just drew that for no reason, you know what I mean? And then just convince myself that I did it for fun. And it's like, you know, like all of this is already fun, but I definitely want to make it worthwhile for the sake of the story. So while I've been watching that video, I went back to my Excel spreadsheets with my character layouts and all that other stuff, and I found a document that I hadn't finished yet. It's another document listing all of my characters, but listing them in specific ways. For instance, I have like just straight up lists, and then I have lists organizing the stories in which all the characters are in. That's why I'm able to tell you, like, this, I know this guy's in 9 out of 33. He's in 9 stories out of 33 stories altogether. The only reason why I know that is because I've organized all these lists and things like that. I did all this boring work, you know, behind the scenes a long time ago. And, well, so I came across one of those lists that hasn't been finished. So I was like, you know what, let me start finishing that, because once I have that finished, I'll be able to organize him, all the characters that he's associated with and things like that. To get specific without being too specific, you know, I think at this point it's fairly obvious that he's something of a military man. And obviously the military, there is no one, there is, you know, there is an I in military. There's a couple I's in military, but that's the point. Is that there's more than one I in military. So as a military man, and with the whole, where the military force in the world that I've created, and, you know, the characters that make it up, that make up the military and everything like that. Like it, you know, I don't think it's too crazy to reveal, like, you know, he's a part of a team, or that there are other people involved in what he's involved with and things like that. Um, so yeah, that's that's all I want to do, is because some of them have like wild, crazy journeys. Ones that we don't, you know, that are even, may even be like nuttier than his. But it's all to build the world, build up the world around them. Like it's all world building for the sake of the main character, who I have yet to like expose on these streams yet. So it's like, you know, characters serving purposes within organizations, organizations serving purposes within the world, and the world serving purpose in order to tell this main character's story. It's all connected. Like there's all, it's a ton of work to, you know, try to throw together and things like that. So that's why I'm saying I don't have like 30 hours to kill just sitting on my ass. Like I always want to be doing something, and sometimes it's hard to make the decision to do something, because it's like, oh man, usually these 2 days where I would spend streaming and going ham, I've kind of like, my mind was sitting there like, nah, you gotta watch that Final Fantasy VII, homie. Like you've been putting it off for way too long, and now what's the saying? The crows come to roost. The rooster is roosting. The vultures have landed. What is the saying? the nest comes to roost. The crows are roosting. I have no idea. I'm sure roosting is a part of that quote of what I'm trying to say, and I'm sure smarter people than I are yelling. It's the crows come to roost, you idiot, or whatever. The chickens. I have no idea. Either way. Either way, so I've been doing that, and I continued working on that list, and I intend to do that today. But just like I was always saying, is I can't let my laptop run for more than 4 hours at a time. So I told myself, you know what? I have time to do a stream, so let me do a stream. Hence the atrocity that this one is, and then I'll go on to my laptop, do my work for 4 hours, and then who knows what time it'll be at that point. But at least that way I can kind of get two birds with one stone, and kind of continue to remain productive. So, where am I at within the video game as far as watching it? I'm kind of in the beginnings of the third video. So I watched the first part out of, out of 4 videos. I watched the first one yesterday, and then I got most of the second one watched. And then I've been watching this third video. I finished the second video today, and I've been watching the third one, and they finally moved on to the second disc, which is, you know, I know for a fact I've gotten this far, and I guess at the end of the first disc is when, you know, they kill Aerith in the original game. And so it's like, oh, okay, good. I haven't gotten to where I was when I got the Red Ring of Death on my PlayStation. Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to say how far I got into the game, you know? I don't know why this pose is so fucking hard, man. So yeah, we've kind of just recently entered the second disc. So Aerith has just died. I think they had to head towards the North Cave. And I know I've played this part. Like, I'm looking up where he's at now, and it's like, yeah, I remember playing all this. That's kind of why it's also fun watching this, is because, like, okay, I remember this, I remember this. Oh, yeah. And then there's little details here and there that I forgot about. And thinking with the remake out now, it's like, holy shit. Like, things are so different in this game than they were in the remake. Like little dialogue pieces, character relationships, things like that. Like the remake, even though it's like going a little bit extra and going a little bit deeper, it's it's still like really different. And the other day I was thinking about how just like I can't find a really good video of a commentary playthrough of Final Fantasy VII, I haven't found a lot of good videos regarding you know, theories and things like that for Final Fantasy VII. Like the biggest craziest stuff, which is like Zack being alive. Like everyone like is aware of it, and everyone's like, holy shit, and everyone's asking, what does this mean? What does this mean? I don't see anybody really talking about it, and then people like try to, like, people will just like mention in a sentence or two, like, Zack's alive, which means da da da, but no one's ever really, like, no one's diving in on what it could possibly mean, or what, you know, what could be the intentions of Square Enix, you know what I mean, bringing him back, and what they would want from from his being there, you know? Uh, so I was thinking about that, and I was kind of upset that, you know, I haven't seen too much on the topic, which is a little annoying because it's like, okay, everyone's talking about Final Fantasy VII, and now, you know, it seems to be, after, you know, with the Yuffie out, you know, the conversation became about like where where is the next game going to pick up and where is it going to leave off. And I mean, it's cool to kind of think about it and contemplate. What's even crazier to think is like the first game, everything like as far as like Midgar and then the crew leaving Midgar, and that was the story of, you know, part one. What's even crazier is like that was like a small fraction of the original game, which then leads me to wonder, like, how many parts is this game going to be altogether? I remember when I first heard about the remake, when it first released a year ago, and I was like just watching playthroughs of it for the first time. I remember sitting there thinking about, like, I don't think that they can do this in three, even though three is a good number. Like trilogies are always, you know, like they're attractive. We kind of gotten used to them. You know, being able to do a trilogy is kind of like what doing one movie back in the day used to be. Nowadays, it's like, you know, you can't just do trilogies. You got to do, you know, now with cinematic universes being like the thing that's extra now, doing four movies is like, seems to be the way to go. I mean, look at Pirates of the Caribbean, The Lord of the Rings is two sets of trilogies. You know, there's all this stuff. And I was just like, man, even though a trilogy would be nice, part one, part two, part three, kind of, and wash your hands with it for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Honestly, like even a year ago, I was telling myself, I was like, I think they're gonna have to make it four parts. Like, no bullshit. They're definitely gonna have to make it a four-part series. And now with everything that they're doing with Zack, I'm like, God damn it, four parts might not be enough. I mean, unless Zack's, you know, the Zack living part is going to be different. If Zack living has anything to do with this game, it's definitely going to be four games. It'll probably be like six or something like that. But if Zack being alive is... there we go. What the hell was I thinking? So... But if Zack being alive is going to be like its own spin-off series, where they're kind of introducing it here with the remake, but, you know, give it some time and then it'll end up being something else completely that has nothing to do with the remake. Like, that'll for sure be its own its own set of games, its own lore, its own everything later on. Just now with me saying it out loud like this is making me think, well, I guess because it is within the remake, that it's not to set up a whole new series. It is to be a part of the remake, no matter what. Like, without the remake, it doesn't exist or something. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But, thinking about Zach, Zach Fair's role and everything, and people, this is why I'm kind of annoyed that no one's talking about it, is because it's like, man, Zach is such a different character than Cloud is as a protagonist for the world of Final Fantasy VII. Like, he's so different from Cloud. And I just started the other day, I was just thinking about their differences and how those differences might culminate in the story. Now, maybe no one's talking about it just because they don't want to or something, but after a year, it's like, man, if anybody was going to talk about it, I feel like they would have by now. Like, people who are definitely a lot more qualified than me to talk about that game, because I never beat it, you know what I mean? So I never witnessed firsthand the story. I just kind of know the story from, like, other people. So that's why, I never wanted to do this talking, but a little something about me is like, man, if I feel like something needs to be done and no one's doing it, I'm going to go ahead and at least give it a go. Who knows, maybe it'll inspire somebody to do it way better and be like, oh my god, this idiot's trying to talk about it. Here, let me talk about it, because I definitely know what I'm talking about more than him, which would be great. So I was thinking about, what does Zach being alive bring to the table? I mean, we can only work with what we got, and even though what we got is so little, we also have so much already to kind of think about things. For instance, like, I'm thinking about the timeline, and you gotta think, and I was also thinking about this yesterday, as I thought about this for days on end. Yesterday, it kind of hit me. Have we ever seen Cloud reuniting with Tifa? Has that ever been, like, documented in any way? And I'm not talking about the Nibelheim incident or anything like that. I'm not talking about the, in the flashbacks where we see Tifa and Cloud together, and Cloud's not a soldier. He's just a regular, like, foot soldier. He's not, like, soldier first class. And Zach Fair was the first class soldier that was there at Nibelheim when Cloud took out Sephiroth. But have we ever seen, like, after Zach dies and Cloud ultimately, I guess, wakes up and then heads to Midgar and then reunites with Tifa and joins Avalanche on, thus beginning Final Fantasy VII. Have we ever seen the scene where Cloud and Tifa reunite? Because I don't think we have. I don't think that's ever been discussed. It's always just been implied. Like, obviously, it's implied, it's there. The thing that got me thinking about it was when I was watching it yesterday, and when they come back from the first mission, from the first bombing, and, they go to 7th Heaven. And she has this piece of dialogue where she goes, were you and Barrett fighting again? Or did you guys get into an argument again? Meaning, even though this is the first bombing mission that Cloud went on with them, he's already had interactions with them. Enough so that him and Barrett have argued with each other in front of Tifa, prompting her to ask the question to make sure that, hey, you guys were on your own for a bit. I know you guys kind of get a little squirrely sometimes. What, did everything go well between you two? Like that sort of thing. I just thought it was so interesting. I was like, oh, so this bombing mission isn't the first time Cloud and Barrett are trying to work together, which is what I always felt like it was. So, did you argue again? Which now makes me think about how much time has passed, and how much time had passed between Zack dying, Cloud waking up, walking his ass, or somehow traveling to Midgar, and then arriving in Midgar, and then reuniting with Tifa. Like the time between Zack dying and Cloud and Tifa reuniting, which I believe is all happens off camera, off screen, off story, like off everything. Like it's just something that we've never seen. I'm almost certain. Like how much time passed in that? And the reason why I'm asking is because in this new world, this new timeline where Zack's alive, it's like, how much time now passed between Zack surviving, throwing Cloud up on his shoulder, the two of them slowly limping their way towards Midgar, which is a far fuck's walk away still, especially to be carrying someone and to be half dead and injured from fighting 1,000 soldiers, like, getting shot 1,000,000 times. Like, how long did it take for Zack to walk from, rescuing Cloud to knocking on Aerith's church door, where we see him at the end of Integrate? How much time has passed? Because at the end of Integrate, he walks in, I'm back, and he seems to be unaware that anything has happened, which means that if something happened, it couldn't have been anything too big, because how could he have gotten Cloud wherever he got Cloud? Within Midgar. Even if Cloud was just off camera, he's right outside the church with him, still unconscious, and he's like, here, just drink some water, buddy, and he sets him down just a few steps away from the church, just out of camera sight, just off camera, and then walks up, and then that's when he's having his little, monologue with himself, trying to amp himself up to go talk to Aerith, and then bust through the door, I'm back, and then we see a bunch of people not in the greatest of shape, implying that something has happened in order for all these people to not be in the greatest of shape and have to find solace within a church. Like, how come no one's talking about that? Oh my God, that's what's going on. That's what's so bad. Oh, this is terrible. So, yeah, I'm just wondering how much time could have passed and what could have possibly happened to make all those people feel bad that Zack isn't even aware that something has happened at the level of making all those people upset. in my mind, I was like, for instance, this is what I'm thinking about. Could Avalanche have already bombed something without Cloud? Could Avalanche have gone on the bombing mission without Cloud because he would have been injured being carried on Zack's shoulders with a long walk to Midgar? And as Zack and Cloud are approaching Midgar at a snail's pace, Avalanche has gone ahead with its plans to bomb a reactor. All those displaced people seem to be people who could have suffered from the hands of that bombing. But if that's the case, wouldn't Zack have been aware that a bombing had happened? Man, this drawing is terrible. I'm just gonna move on. Call these things. I haven't done this in a while. Boo. I haven't booed one of my own drawings in a long time. This is what happens when, this is why I didn't want to stream, because it's like, man, if I really just want to sit back and work on my characters, at like the lists, and get the story down right, like you kind of always just got to work on whatever your heart is telling you to work on. But my heart was also telling me, like, at least get one stream in and kind of let people know why you're gonna be you're not busting out 6 videos on the days that you normally would be. You know, I still have that water samurai I want to work on, plenty of environment stuff, plenty of more of these character drawings to make. So yeah, I'm just curious as to what's going on with Zack's storyline. Because I started thinking about a few things as far as like his character. Now that he's back in Midgar, think of everything that he's gone through and his experiences and his knowledge of Shinra and all the fuck shit that they do. You know, because originally, like, we're dealing with Cloud and his memory, and his whole shtick is like his memory sucks. Like, he has super amnesia. So what happens when you have a Final Fantasy VII timeline protagonist who who has, one, a working memory, and two, actually is a first-class soldier and isn't, and you know, it isn't like, basically isn't Cloud. You know what I mean? It's Zack. Like, do the events even still happen the way that they do? Because I started thinking, like, would Zack, the whole reason why Cloud's even being a mercenary for Avalanche is because he bumps into Tifa. Zack don't know Tifa. Like, he knows her maybe from the, you know, Nibelheim incident 5 years ago, but I don't think he's aware that Tifa's in Midgar, and he's gonna bump into her at a bar and then be like, oh, hey, you know, childhood love. Like, that's not gonna happen with him. If that even happened, if he even did bump into her at Seventh Heaven, he's just gonna go be at a bar and then run into a bartender, and then she's gonna be like, oh, hey, I'm the cowgirl who gave you a tour of Nibelheim. Remember when Sephiroth lost his shit? Like, how would that prompt her to be like, those were crazy times, huh? Yeah, I've gone ahead and joined a terrorist group, and we're gonna bomb Shinra. Like, would that prompt her to tell him that in hopes that he would care enough to say, like, okay, we're gonna play Final Fantasy VII now, but instead of Cloud, we're Zack. And everything's gonna be the same. Like, nothing would be the same. And I don't hear anybody talking about stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want people who are smarter than me about this stuff to, like, be talking about. At this point, the game's been out for a year. We just got integrated. I don't think we're getting anything anytime soon. You know, outside of, like, all the other games that they're making and things like that. But none of those games I don't think are going to be addressing any of the, like, remake stuff. It's just going to be whatever those game contents are. You know, in order to make some more money, in order to fund the continuation of producing and creating the next set of remake games. Like, I was like, man, let's forget about the fact that he went to that he went to, you know, Sector 5 slums church. Like, Avalanche is still a thing. Like, Barrett is still a thing. I want to say, you know, like, anything could be possible at this point. But the only reason why Barrett's relevant to the story is because of Cloud joining Avalanche and Barrett being the leader of that Avalanche splinter group. You know, so Avalanche, you know, Jesse, Wedge, Biggs, Tifa, Barrett, they're all still there. Is Tifa even aware that Cloud is brought back? You know? Like, where, like, we don't know where Cloud is. So could Tifa be aware? Oh wait, let me see this battle. It sounds serious. Cause I know that my red light of death came in during during disc 2, so now I should definitely be paying attention. So after this stream, I'll definitely be like watching while I work on the character lists. Okay, yeah. Because again, I don't really remember where I stopped playing the game, but I really couldn't get past this one part. But I don't think this is it. Yeah, because they're fighting like a Hydra right now, like some three-headed monster. And I don't remember it being a three-headed monster or a two-headed monster, whatever it is. For some reason, I remember it being like a white dragon, but it was fought in a cave, and they are in the northern caves right now. So I'm like, holy shit, are they in the area that I ended it? Did I die in like the beginning of this too? Like a chump? But I'm, I got to keep an eye out for the proper enemy, so I can find out like this is how far I made it into the game, and this is the enemy that I couldn't get past. But yeah, I don't think they're there yet. Oh yeah, that's definitely not it. Because I remember the part of the map specifically I was at, and I remember the part of the game that I was at. But clearly the enemy wasn't a white dragon, because anytime I look up like white dragon in Final Fantasy VII, it like never pops up. So I'm like, okay, my memory is crap. Yeah. So yeah, man, I was just thinking like I could only imagine Zack after dealing with Genesis, Angiel, and Sephiroth would be like, you know, I he definitely wouldn't be on Shinra's side, but he also wouldn't be on Avalanche's side. Especially if Avalanche did go through with the bombing without Cloud, bombed the reactor, hurt a whole bunch of people. All those people go to Sector 5, church, because Aerith, but God forbid Aerith got hurt in the bombing. But that's kind of where my mind was going. I was like, oh my God, Avalanche bombed it and Aerith got hurt, and Zack's gonna be pissed off at Avalanche because they jacked up Aerith. I don't want to say killed. I think that'd be a little too extra. But they jacked up Aerith. Okay. They're at the crater part of the game. Yeah, see, I still remember all of this. So yeah, I've been thinking about it, man. Cause nobody else is, and it's like, man, I really just want people who know what they're talking about to give some good ideas, man, to feed my imagination, and they ain't doing it, and I don't know why. You'd think that after years, even if it's like, oh no, they got to think about it for a second. It's like, okay, it's been a year though. Chances are, if none of the channels that I watch have said anything by now, they probably won't be saying anything until like, you know, something actually happens. But it's like, man, I mean, what could Zach possibly do? Like, look at what Cloud did. He goes, he finds Tifa, and then he just goes to be a part of her life, essentially, because he has nothing else. His home is dead, his parents are gone. You know, his memories are all shot to shit. Zach's gone. So he just happens to walk into Midgar, happens to bump into Tifa. Tifa happens to be a part of Avalanche. So it's like, I imagine Zach's story is gonna be something like that. Where it's like, okay, Zach goes into Midgar. He knows Shinra's fucked. He knows, uh, you know, he knows Aerith is there. So he's gonna go set his buddy down somewhere, probably like a hospital of some sort, maybe at the orphanage or something like that, where we saw Biggs kind of waking up or something, at the end of the remake game. Like maybe he sends him to the orphanage because he can't send them to the hospital because, they're essentially fugitive outlaws. So it's like he can't go to Shinra. So he can't do anything like official, but his buddy is like super jacked up. It's like he needs to take him somewhere where he can be cared for. That's why I wasn't like closed off to the idea that maybe Cloud is just off camera. He's directly off camera at that final scene. Like maybe he took him to the church in order to fix his buddy up at the church, which is why he goes directly there. He doesn't stop. He doesn't pay attention to the news. He doesn't listen to what anybody's talking about. He doesn't even look people in the eye. Hell, he probably doesn't even have like carrying Cloud on his shoulder. He probably is like barreling him in underneath the cloth to hide the fact. You know what I mean? And he's probably like covered himself up so no one sees that he's soldier, like fugitive type stuff. So he's like, all right, I gotta make it to Midgar. Let's go, buddy. I'm gonna go get you some help. So the two of them go directly to Aerith. Cloud has never met Aerith before. Because they wouldn't have done the bombing where he runs into her as the flower girl. So then I guess what the story becomes is like, what's Aerith's whole thing? What does she have going on? The only thing I could really think of is that the Turks are always after her. So Avalanche would have did the bombing without Cloud, and it probably would have went really bad. And Zack would have searched for Aerith, just like Cloud found Tifa. And then it was Tifa that got Cloud into the shenanigans that he got into. So I imagine it's going to be Aerith who gets Zack into the shenanigans that he will ultimately end up getting into now that he's alive. And the only thing that's going on is more Shinra stuff, where the Turks are after her. So I don't know what's left if Genesis is gone, Angelil is gone, Sephiroth is gone. You know, for more or less, you know, obviously we know Genesis is still around, and we know that Sephiroth is, you know, within the life stream. Genesis is in hibernation. Angelil, who knows what's happening with him? I don't really remember Crisis Core, but he, so I'm trying to do stupid poses, and I definitely am not in the right place mentally to be trying these things. Just like these shitty uppercut drawings. This one's not so bad, but it's so basic. Shit. Anyways. Shit, I'm not watching this game at all. I don't know where they're at right now. Oh, yeah. See, I even remember all this stuff where they're following all the experimented on cloaked figure people who are always mumbling stuff. They're always like, reunion, reunion, or whatever it is. It's so crazy that I remember all this stuff. Because I definitely don't remember just thinking about the game. Oh shit, something's about to happen. Our purpose is to deliver them. Shit, Sephiroth just fucked him up. One hitter quitter. Okay, they're fighting another one of those jacked up Sephiroth monsters. Goddamn. Gotta love those summon animations. So yeah, I wonder if, like, what I have to think is that Zack is gonna get mixed in with Aerith and the Turks, which is gonna get Zack back into beefing with Shinra. Which, the only thing I could think about, the only pieces that are relevant that are left, because even though we love, the main cast, I don't know how much of it is gonna deal with like Yuffie and Sid, but it's like Deep Ground is still there because they're Shinra ultimately, and Deep Ground deals with Vincent. So it's like, okay, so we kind of have like Deep Ground stuff, Vincent stuff. Like I said, Sephiroth and Genesis are still around. And because this timeline is all screwy, like anything could happen. Oh shit, this is where they're revisiting Nibelheim. They're revisiting the old memory, right? And this is, I think, where we see Zack. And this is where I think they kind of dropped the bomb on Cloud. Yeah! Cloud's not here. Yeah, I think this is where Sephiroth is dropping the truth bomb on Cloud of like, you know, Zack did all that shit that you swear you did? Oh man. The worst part is he has Tifa with him, and Tifa's not even. Yeah, Tifa wants it to stop. Holy shit. We're getting Zack. Damn, Cloud is still in denial. My bad, I completely stopped drawing so I could read all this stuff because there's no voice acting 20 years ago. Sephiroth's like, man, I'm just trying to let you know, you wrong, homie. I don't want to understand. Cause I'm trying to let you know your girl been lying to you this whole time. Alright, you know what? I gotta pause this. This is too much of a lore dump. I gotta get. I, I'm sorry, guys. At least I kind of did. I drew some shitty drawings here. Some shitty sketches here. Oh yeah, let's focus. But we're getting too much into a lore dump with the Final Fantasy stuff right now. And I know we got to be getting close to the part where I stopped playing the game due to the Red Ring of Death. And so I definitely want to watch that and be there to see that. But yeah, aside from drawing some really bad drawings here, kind of told you what I've been up to. So I've been doing some of the more character organization parts, and you know, it's been a while since I've done any of that type of work. So it took me even just a half hour just to catch up with my memory. I even had to remind myself some certain characters' names and stuff where I was like, oh shit, that's right, I have this person. Like, I've forgotten a little bit, which is why I want to make sure I get everything right, which is why I'm doing all this stuff with this character and making sure him and his team and his organization and the military and everything that I do, as far as like all these sketches and things that I've been doing, are all going to be leading towards something. That it all actually leads towards like certain actions, and that it's not all in vain. So yeah, I got some really crappy drawings in. What's today's date? Today is the 19th. Okay. I can't believe I booed myself. That makes sense. Well, at least I'll always remember this. That's why I always date all of my drawings as one, so I could always remember, like, if I look back 5, 10, 15 years from now, it'd be like, oh, okay, I drew this then. I would have been this old, whatever, this age. But yeah, I'll definitely always remember this boo, because it's been a while since I booed my own artwork. But I got some sketches in, and you know what I'm doing in the background. I'm trying to get like my characters right and everything like that. So not to worry. I probably won't be streaming again until maybe tomorrow. We'll see, because I definitely want to get through with this one. Just watch, up until where um, up until where I couldn't beat the game any further, so I could find the spot that I got stuck in, so I could finally like have that in my mind. Because I thought I would have played video games again and got back to playing this game and figured it out and beat it again by now, but it's been like 10 years. So, you know, I mean, it's been it's been weighing heavy on my mind. So I definitely want to figure that out, but also just like watch what happens after that. Because even though I know the storyline just from what I've heard and watched, I haven't actually seen the video game finish. So that's another reason why I want to watch that. So I'm going to be working on characters. I'm going to be storylines and things like that, and relationships and all that stuff. And yeah, I don't stream any of that because that's that's too spoilery, you know. Either way, this has been one of those streams again. It's been a while since I've had one of these really bad ones. It's been a while since if only I could virtual ghost a boo into my own streaming, that'd be pretty awesome. Either way, man. I'm G Mr. Drew. That's at G Mr. Drew on all social media. Follow, like, and subscribe. Any and all support is appreciated. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can catch me live on Twitch, or you can catch these videos right after Twitch. Usually they go right up on my Patreon. Most of these videos you would have to be a patron in order to watch them on Patreon. That starts at $1 a month. If you want like character portraits, commissions, things like that from me, it starts at $3 a month. You should check out all the tiers and options available. Super well priced. And if you just want to commission straight up, I'm on Fiverr as well. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience, episode 204. Working on character concepts, talking about what I'm doing here, what I'm gonna be working on next, and the reason why I haven't streamed super hardcore like I wanted to, and like I thought I was. I thought I was gonna be working on the Water Samurai stuff a little bit, but yeah, the Final Fantasy VII stuff kind of bubbled up and reached a peak to me after all these years, and wanting to work on organizing the military and all of its characters and everything like that within my IP also kind of bubbled up. So I said, I could at least get those two birds with one stone, but I can't do that while streaming. This stream being the evidence of that. And yeah, that's gonna be it, man. Love y'all. Peace.